Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode of the vlogs. We are outside the club but somewhere else. We're down the towpath to begin today's episode. We're changing up a little bit to make sure Yam gets nice and relaxed in the morning. So we're trying out the morning walk down the towpath rather than at the house. So then we can go into wherever it is for the next session and have him nice and chilled out. But as you saw, Fraser's on the water and he's single, and that's what today is all about. What boat you should row. And it comes down to a lot of different sort of varying factors. For me, my sculling ability is not fantastic, so I don't scull. If I had lots of time during the summer, probably 3 months, 4 months, and I could spend 1 or 2 months getting my ability back up to where I want it to be or where it has been, so I can then work on fitness and more complex technique rather than spending the time trying not to fall in. So I did that, was that last summer? Might have been last summer, where I wasn't so much pressured to start the season fit, so I wanted to get my boat feel a little bit improved. I wanted to work on my technique in the single, and I was training at that point a long time on my own on one machine, like the bike or the rowing machine, so I wanted a bit of variance. Yam has met a couple of other dogs, so making sure he's okay with that, and he did really well, isn't that right, Yam? Good boy. But like I said, getting a little bit of variance in there, because remember, variation is one of the keys to motivation. But this year, since I didn't have as much time between finishing racing and starting training again, it meant that I could train on a singular machine or by myself for a little bit, and then by the time it would be time to sort of want that variation, it's back to training. So I haven't really reached that stage at all about wanting to go train with people or train a different modality. Because I've really only been training, so it's about 2 months, but even then the sort of first month was very relaxed, and then the last 3 weeks have been a bit more intense with big intensity workouts, but not too strenuous overall. Lots of time to recover, like I've said before, getting lie-ins, and I'm very lucky to be able to do so. But we're going to finish off the walk with Yam, and then we're going to talk a little bit about sort of boats to row and the advantages of them. So I've went over a little bit about the single, but we'll talk about the pair and four and doubles, quads maybe. But we'll talk about the other boats as well and let you know why you might want to do that. So let's finish this walk and then I'll see you at breakfast. Oh yeah! And we've made it into the crew room post-walk to fuel up pre-session. Got a little bit of an ergo, a little bit of UT2 to do today before we chat, or after that we'll chat about boats to row in, pairs or singles, especially in the pre-season. Yeah, Harry. Hello! And the coaches are getting some boats rigged out here. Now it's time to get on the air, oh yeah! And we've made it into the crew room after the ergo. A lot of progress, it feels like, is being made on the fitness, tracking the heart rate, tracking the level of perceived exertion and the split, and then comparing them to the previous ergs, especially as we go back in weeks. Yes. But we've got 2 dogs here. We've got little Maya and Yam eating big food. No big food for you, Maya. And now, well, everyone seems to be fueling up but me. It's time for just to fuel up, and then we'll talk about those boats all here. And we've made it outside of the club once again. We're discussing something else today. So like, what boat should you train in for the pre-season or the summer when you're not training as a team? We've got Robson here to help discuss. So for me, I can't scull. So
yeah, you can.
I can't scull.
Keen viewers of the vlog will have seen you.
Previously, I have sculled, but like I said at the start of the video, my sculling ability right now would mean I had to spend time not falling in, not spend time training. But you can scull better than that. You can scull where it's above a level of you can get training in.
I can get some training benefit out of it.
So, a single or a pair, or another boat for pre-season.
I just think the smallest boat possible.
Okay.
Like, I think if you can get out in a single and make it worthwhile, like, it's such a good training tool, because at that point there is no one but you affecting how the boat moves, and so you can really break it down and work on what you need to do to get better individually. Like you've got enough time when everyone's back and when you're in the middle of the season to work on rowing with people. Yeah. Actually, like, the off season is a chance to work on what you need to do better. And but that's just the general training philosophy of the whole off season. So like, I knew that coming into the end of last season, my core strength wasn't good enough. Yeah. And like, I was realising that through the season, so I've spent loads of time in the off season doing 2-a-day core stuff. Yeah. But you know, it's you know, take a bit of time off after the end of the season, really look hard at yourself and go, like, analyse where you went a bit awry, and then break it down and work on those, because when you've got the time to, you know, maybe take your foot off the gas from a physiological standpoint and just really hammer the stuff technically you need to do. So that's why I like being in a single, being in the pairs. The pairs are also a chance to just jump in like with loads of different people. I've been out with people I don't usually row with, and
not even good. Not just to learn to row pair.
Not just to learn to row pair.
But what? So if you had to row either a pair or single, which would you prefer?
A single for the off season.
No, if you're not, just any boat. Even would you say a single during the season?
During the season.
Not training. Which boat do you prefer?
Between a pair and a single?
Yes.
A pair.
Why?
Because you got a mate. I enjoy training in a single, but if you're doing, I couldn't be a sculler. Just motivating yourself to do it all through the
whole
winter,
time,
all on your own. You've got to be a pretty certain kind of individual to do that, and that's I feed off other people, and I like, you know, having people around to enjoy training with, and you know, I've got an unbelievable amount of respect for guys like, you know, Alan Campbell back in the day. Like, he was just so set in his mind that he wanted to be in single, and like Tom Barris nowadays and Harry Leask, people like that. Like, they are just, you know, they love rowing a single. And I'm like, I couldn't motivate yourself in like during the winter, go out and do 20k in a single. I'd be like,
when it's cold and rainy.
But if you have to do it because you don't want to let someone else down, then you do it.
Then you can have a little chat if it's getting boring.
Yeah, like we sometimes have funny little chats with rowing.
Most of the time.
Yeah. Oh God, we're about to fall in.
But it also depends on, like Robson's saying, it depends on what your aims are, what boat you should be in. So say you're exclusively rowing an 8. Should you try and row an 8 in the off season?
Again, I think it's time for you to work on yourself.
But what if you need to row an 8?
But then row an 8. I think it's an opportunity to put yourself out of your comfort zone. Yeah. And so, like, say you were born to row the 4-seater 8, like me. Like, if you can get in an 8 and sit in a different seat, like it just makes you feel a different
perspective.
Yeah, like you look at some of the quickest boats and combinations, like they don't look the same at the start of the season as they do at the end of the season. So I remember, like, Robin Dowell, who used to coach at Borlays, he'd go for the full first half of the season with the guy who would end up at stroke. He'd sit at bow. Yeah. So that for the second half of the season, he knew what he was looking at from the first half, and he'd be like, oh, this is what the guys behind me are feeling, this is how I want to row the boat. So like yeah, you know, it's an opportunity to do something different and sit somewhere new. And actually in rowing, especially with the big teams and getting into national teams and stuff, kind of the more you can do the better. So being able to row in more seats is a massive benefit from a selection point of view. Otherwise you're not just pinned down as like, oh, I can sit in the 4-seat or an 8. It's like, well, I could sit in the 2-seat or the 6-seat,
or it could be in a 4 or
so you know, the more feathers in your hat that you can find.
So if a member of the YAM squad is trying to make their 4 in the next few months, using the pre-season to row the 4 and get used to it, but also using the opportunity to even get out in the single, improve your boat feel, if it's sort of that's what you're looking for to do and try not to fall in, row the pair, because sweep side
like
stuff,
we've swapped the rig round in the pair as well. So like, you know, I've been sat at bow in the pair for ages now, so I'm like, oh, okay, this is what I want to see from someone at stroke, so when I go back at stroke I'll be like, this is what I would want. And also it's like, you know, this is how I'm trying to be sympathetic to the person who's sitting in front of me, so that when it's the other way around I know what they can feel. So like especially if you don't have, like, we haven't had the coaches around very much this summer, so it's been quite nice to just sort of experiment new things and try new things and work it out on our own, which is good. So,
and having a big dose of variation, because variation is a key to motivation.
It's been fun.
Exactly. Enjoy what you do.
That's it.
It makes a big difference.
Especially because we race towards the start of the summer, and then the summer is like our off season. So actually, like, the nicest weather and the nicest times to go rowing is when we get to do what we want.
And we're off.
So we, you know, massively enjoy it. I think the other thing is, like, you know, you've been doing stuff. We've all been doing different kind of training. Like, it's not just been like mileage that we do through the winter. We've been doing, like, you know, 15-500s and like fun, short intensity sessions, and that's a good opportunity to just try new things, see what works for you.
So Robson's tips doesn't matter in the boat, because that's the title of the episode.
But if you can get out in a smaller boat, it's no one who can move a small boat can't move a big boat. But if you can move a big boat, sometimes you can't move a small boat, if that makes sense. So use the opportunities to get out in small boats, work on it, because it's only going to improve stuff that you do in a big boat.
And there you go. You heard it here first from Mr. Robson.
Coming
get out
from
in a
people
small
who can't
boat.
row.
Coming from the Learn to Row pair, learn to row the pair. Oh yeah, but that will be it for today's episode, YAM Squad. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, just a little bit of a chat as we approach the beginning of the season, or the beginning of the team training on Monday here at the club. Like I said, we've got testing week, or weeks depending on what we're doing. I think we're doing 2k, 5k in a half hour, so it'll be good to sort of have a benchmark at the start of the season to compare myself as well as myself to others, as well as myself to past self, etc, etc. But that will be it for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and as always, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and tomorrow we have another workout video coming up, and it's going to be a hard one. Oh yeah.